Good evening. I hope the audio is better tonight and that our problems got resolved. So, happy Friday, everybody. I hope the week has been kind to you and that you get some time to rest during the weekend. So for today, I've been playing around with an idea related to a custom controller for World of Warcraft, as I have to start exercising, and one of the exercises that was recommended to me was walking, basically. Not specifically hiking, just, having to walk a few miles a day, every day. And as I was doing the continuation of the Walk to 70 series with Stonevale, I realized that I could kind of connect having have to walk and liking to run around with Stonevale. And the idea was inspired by another content creator, which name I cannot recall right now. I'll try to reference him. He used his camera as a sort of a scanner, if you will. Perhaps he uses some different sensors as well, but it was mainly a camera and a code that allowed him to pick up on the gestures that he made in order to play Classic. I think he played World of Warcraft Classic. So the idea was kind of a blend. So here I am with Excalibur here, trying to connect the dots. I didn't really plan this out. It was more like a spur of the moment thing. I wanted to share something, but I didn't really have, prepared content, as I usually don't. So that's the general gist of it. So basically what I need is, first I need a treadmill unit, which I'll use. It can be a manual one, it doesn't have to be automatic. I mean, it would be preferred to be manual since I can pace. And then I would also need a camera or an infrared sensor of sort. Perhaps I could use an infrared tracking sensor, I believe. So an infrared tracking sensor plus a magnetic Hall sensor. These two are kind of available for both Arduino and Raspberry Pi, but generally I would prefer to make it simpler and just use a camera. Most cameras have a depth detection anyway, so I could use that, and alternatively I could use an iPhone camera, because they definitely do have a depth sensor, which is basically an infrared sensor, right? So my idea is to use a camera and then code something using I think it's called OpenCV something, I forgot, and I'm not a native Python developer, so Forgive my my mistakes there. It's called OpenCV for camera, or OpenCV, I'm not sure, where I can detect stuff from a camera using the script that's continuously running, and then depending on how fast I'm moving, I probably want to scan my hips and legs, and then based off of that, this diagram sucks. So based off of that, I would want, so camera should be scanning the treadmill and sending information to the code, and then code would have some type of input mediation thing where it resolves the intensity of the input, and lastly it gives it back to WoW. So from what I know, and I've played around a little bit with Steam Deck and generally a controller in World of Warcraft. I have a Xbox controller and a Steam controller, which is a pretty ancient one. This one still really good. I love these things, they're great. So I've tried playing WoW with both of them. Unfortunately, I'm not that proficient with a controller, so I cannot, you know, make nuanced movements when it comes to Mythic Plus or raiding or PvP. And so controller isn't my option, but it is possible, and the point I'm trying to make is you could have an input gradient rather than are you walking or are you not walking, you know, and switching from running to walking. Because let's face it, I cannot run as much as Stone Whale can. So generally what I want to do is get this desk raised and have a treadmill under it, have a camera on the side so it can record, and then use all of that in order to kind of simulate the input. Ideally input gradients like with sensitivity, so that it mimics the controller, you know, how much you push the D-pads rather than, you know, click the buttons. So that's the general idea. I am currently in WoW, as you can see from here, even from the background music. And what I want to do is actually start a project and just see where it goes. What can I pick up from the current state of my idea and where it's gonna go. It's basically, I don't want to overcommit while I also don't want to leave it unexplored, and me not being, you know, native to Python will make that somewhat of a challenge. I do have GitHub Copilot, so but I don't intend to vibe code this, you know, completely. Who knows? I might end up doing just that, depending how much I struggle and how much it can help. So we'll see. Okay. Actually, let's start it off. I haven't really used Python in where's my overlay? There we go. Voila. And that's WoW. Okay. Let me try to get my display capture. Oh, I think I already have it. There we go. Voila. Here we are. Works. Lovely. So what I intend to do is just create a project and we'll see how to name this old man controller. Obviously not. So walking stick. I think that's a pretty good name, if I do say so myself. Okay, so as I said, I haven't really set up, so I'm not sure if I have pip. I do. That's great. That is lovely. I do have pip. So let's see if I can set up this environment properly. There are some variables there. There's environment, like a global one. All right, so let's open the folder and where was it? Right. It was there, and then it was walking stick. There you go. Perfect. Okay. So we do have agent mode here. I don't want to do that. Let's switch to ask. Let's switch to GPT and just ask it. Actually, you know what? Let's not ask it anything. Let's Google it. So let's see if wait. There you go. Let's see if we can do like how to initialize Python project in the command line. So can I use pip for that? Oh no, I initialize environment. I see. And then I can install it. All right. That's fine. We can do that. I'm just gonna have to move this. Actually, I don't. Let's just put it here. And let's see. So if we do Python 3, do we get it? All right, that works. How do I exit? There we go. So we do Python 3M. I would like to know what M means. So, but let's see. You know, when you give a C# developer Python, this is what happens. But I do want to try and build this simulation for WoW. So should be fun endeavor. So what it says here, the commands creates a directory, of course. You need to activate virtual environment, which is isolated. Okay. So on Windows, yeah, I would do vn script. Okay. So I can do this and then scripts and then activate batch, or right. Well, I can do activate the batch script. All right. Once activated, your terminal prompt will change. Yada yada yada. Now you can create your Python scripts and other projects directory for. Okay, I believe this, even if it's Windows, it has touch. So let's try that. Did I get it? Oh, it put it here. Okay, I didn't get that part very well. I didn't expect it to be there. I think I know what I messed up. So let's delete this one. And the mistake I made was moving into the folder and activating it there. What I should have done is activating it from here by saying VNV scripts. Is it the other way around? There we go. And then activate that. And now I'll be in this folder, and when I do touch, not capital, although I don't think it matters, main.py, I'm gonna get Python script there. Perfect. See, I know something. All right. Then I need to install, I think it's called OpenCV. So let's figure that out. Is there a Python pip install? Is there a marketplace like npm or NuGet repository for pip modules? So I'm just gonna go to Google pip install and see what it gives. So there is installing packages, something. Or is it like every package is like PyPy has its own thing? Let's see. Okay. So for Windows, it's this one. Okay. So if I search for a package here, I could search for OpenCV. There's a lot of them. There's a LangChain OpenCV. That's interesting. For those that don't know, LangChain is... I don't butcher the explanation. It's an implementation of a chain pattern that's mostly used for AI nowadays. And it's a great pattern that uses also a build pattern to instantiate and connect the chain nodes so that you can it's basically it's also called pipe, depending on the language that you're familiar with, but it's a really good framework. I like it. I've used it for some LLMs and integrations and stuff like that. As you can see, you just connect the dots and you run the chain, and it can pass information down the chain and alter it as you go. It's when LLMs got very popular, as you know, at start a few years ago, they were the first ones to have that the ability to enhance the context, even though the context was very, very small. You could, you know, summarize the context and put it back into an LLM, and then prepare a super compact, optimized prompt with context for the actual LLM call. I drove off the target there. So let's OpenCV Cam. Is it that one? I assume it has to do some type of video capture, right? It says small example package, so I don't think that's it. It could be, I'm just gonna be stupid. Wrapper package. Now this sounds more like it, and I like the date. It also has a headless mode, but me being a dummy for this, I don't want to overextend. Verify detail. Okay, this is good. This looks promising. Okay, this looks good. I'm gonna install this one and we can try. So let's copy and paste. It also uses NumPy, of course. Yeah, I can see why. There should be quite a bit of calculations there. My pip requires an upgrade. So do I need to exit this, or can I install it from here? Okay, I can install it from here. Perfect. So this is like I'm gonna butcher it and call it like NuGet console, NuGet terminal. But let's see. All right, so on wheels, that's for me. Sounds perfectly reasonable. Installation and usage. I don't need a CI build. I don't think I'll reach that point. Oh, it's right there. Pre-built, all right. It can be compiled in CUDA. I don't think I'll do that. For those that are unaware, CUDA is a framework that you can use to run Python code on GPU instead of CPU. I haven't made it, but I did design a system that involved that. Fortunately, I can't really speak about it due to NDA, but it was a super fun thing. And yes, you can design a system even if you don't know a language. You just need to have experts around you that do, so that you can make proper decisions. Otherwise, you know, you're gonna make mistakes, or you have to learn the language and you have to do everything yourself, which is not an optimal thing if you have to design several systems constantly, or redesign them, or God forbid modernize them, right? So let's see. We didn't get an error, so I guess that's fine. Should we just try that? See if we can capture camera. If we lose visuals, I did something wrong, or I did something right. We'll see. So from what I saw, we should have an import CV2, right? And then we can do a capture, like maybe like this. So how do I log here? So just ask here. I want to log output stream of this camera video capture. See if it's working. As I said before, I don't know Python, so this is completely expected. Ah, so capture is open. Right. So if it's not open, why would you do not? And I just want to see if it's open. This is... Yeah, I see why people... I don't like else. That's just me being very opinionated, I guess. So what I want to do is, if it's opened... No, not that. Don't assume yet. I'll tell you when to assume. I just want to print camera is open successfully, and I don't want to have else. And then while true... So it does ret and frame. I wonder what ret is. Let's see. So does it have documentation? No. So I guess this is a stream, and it returns a kind of a dictionary or a key value pair. No, not a key value pair. It's a tuple, right? It's a tuple that it returns, and it's a boolean, and whatever this is a frame, which is a material, which is an array. All right. So this is a check basically if it... I'm gonna guess this is a return. If it returned a frame, right? And then we can show... I wonder what IM show is. And I also wonder if my camera is actually on zeroth index. So how do I run the script? let's ask him how to run this script. You know, when you feel like you're just starting it. Okay, so technically, since I'm already in the Python terminal, I should just type in the like main.py, right? And it should work, right? Right. Let's see. Let's hope nothing breaks. We got something popped up. Select an app. Okay. So that didn't work. Maybe I do have to type in Python. Why don't I just copy this? I did install this, so we're fine there. Let's see where we are. It's here. Extra camera? Yes. No. Wrong camera feed. But it's just for testing because you can see the camera here, which means that this is my VCam. And it's constantly popping up feed, so I'm guessing this IM show is a camera feed frame show. Okay. All right, so it works. It's just that my real camera isn't on zeroth index, which I guessed already. I wonder which it is though. Or instead of wondering, why just not try? Let's go again. There we are. Hello. It works. There's two of me now. One here, one here. I don't like this guy. He looks fatter than I am. Than I really am. I promise. I'm not that wide. Okay, I need to cancel this and then it'll stop. All right, so we have to account for the distortion as well. So the reason for the distortion is likely the configuration in which the video capture happens. And so we can configure that. But now we come to the optimization part as well. Do we really need to optimize for such things? We do need a wider angle of capture though. That angle was very narrow when I'm looking at the camera. The camera is pretty wide. As you can see, it reaches like here, right? The other camera reached like here, which is almost like 50-60% of what it actually is. But hey, progress. We grabbed the frame, or well, live frames. I didn't catch how much memory or CPU did it actually take. Maybe I should check that as well. Let's see. Oh, I don't have a very good way to do it, so I'm just gonna enable my performance and let's see it like this. See, it's like here. Yeah, it's like 50-60% of the actual. Regarding performance, there's absolutely no impact on my PC right now. So I guess we're good. We can keep this, or we could, you know, make it wider, or however the camera can handle it. And then I'm just looking at where would I put the camera when I get treadmill, like on this side, maybe, because if I no, it's better on this side because there's a wall here, and if I have contrast issues, I can easily place some cloth over the wall and, you know, remove the contrast issue, because I'm not, you know, I'm very light, bright even. I don't see much sun, so with the white wall, I think it's just gonna ignore me. So that's something to consider. All right, let's progress. So what else can we do here? Do we need to track time? Like how much time has passed? So that when we do it, when we start a gesture, it can start the timer, and then, or do we really need that? I think we do. Is there like a time thing here? How do we? Oh, that's comment is like this. So we want to check if camera is open. What we want to do is log something like last time, maybe. Why not? Is it like time span? Oh wait, time span? No? Time? I think I saw this before somewhere. Maybe I'm missing a reference or something. Or there is import. I thought I saw import. Import time. Okay. And then time. Perfect. And then I can print print time print last rest time. Okay, perfect, perfect. Now if I start the script, last press time. Okay, so it is a time span. It's not actual time. Perfect. That actually works quite well. Does it say so here? Yeah, yes. It's time in seconds. It's epoch time, which is like 1st January of 1970 or 1900, depends, I guess, but doesn't matter. What we need to know it's if it's a time span, and it is. So we can leave that actually there. And then here we can actually do our logic. We don't have to show frames for now. What we have to do is we need a delta between the frames. How do we make a delta between the frames? So obviously we have to have like a previous frame and the next frame. So maybe we'll figure something out. So previous frame, it does frame copy. Okay, I'll leave that as reference. So we need to have the previous frame and the next frame, but I can't really have that frame declared there because when I loop, it's going to lose the scope. So what I need to do is have previous frame none, and then oh, so it's I press Q to exit. Okay, I just realized that. I have no idea what I'm doing. So let's think about this a little bit. I need to figure out how to compare frames. Is there anything on this? There's compare. Okay, what does compare do? It compares 2 frames, which is perfect, but what's this? What's the third? So first one is frame, second one is frame. So let's try to figure this out. Compare the current frame with the previous frame. But wait, is it really like I'm not moving that fast, right? When I'm moving, I'm usually just, walking. So if I walk, I'm not moving inside of the same frame. I'll need like how many frames? Do I have to capture every frame? Like this is 30 frames per second camera, right? Can I change how many frames per second does it capture? Because I don't think I need more than 15, maybe even 12. Could be. Let's see. But there's compare. There's also something that popped up just now. And I don't really need color. So what would happen if I just make a gray frame? Which is maybe something like this. How do I is gray also a frame? It is. So can I output this? And now when I run this, haha, we learned something. We don't need color. So this could be interesting because it also could resolve both the focus, and this isn't 30 FPS, this is much less, right? So let's see. Oops, I have to cancel it. All right, so, and we want to do something if the previous frame is not none, then we want to do something. Otherwise, we're just gonna set the previous frame to a gray copy, right? Why does it expect? All right, because the indentation is important in Python, right? Difference. Is there a like absolute difference? That's even better. So what does it propose? It proposes we use absolute difference between the previous frame, which is copy, and the gray frame. And then it does a threshold of a difference. What's 30? What's 225? So it does a binary threshold within a span of 256 because index is 0, so it goes to 255. And it does counter find of that threshold. And for each counter, it does counter area. I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure what this is, but I really want to find out. What better way than to test? So what do you want to do with this? So if it's a counter area, then what? Then what? So it does a rectangle around it and says motion detected. Okay. Something. I have no clue what just happened, but I'm willing to find out. Let's find out. Then we'll figure it out as we go. All right. So anything. It should find contours, but it doesn't draw anything there. I'm just waving here like a monkey. That's interesting. So what does it do then? Nothing? Okay. That works too. Let's see. I should try Q. Did it say motion detected? No, it didn't. Oh no, it says put text motion detected. Okay. So let's remove all of this because I don't understand it and I have no clue what it is. But let's see. Okay, so what we want to do is figure out how to use this. So I want to reassign the diff so that I can detect speed as a diff summary divided by, it should calculate speed based on pixel changes. And then let's log that. Now let's see if speed shows up. Okay. Whoa, we have speed. Yay. Okay, it's not really as accurate as we'd want it, but it's something. So technically, and just technically, we could use this to move our characters. Because if our background doesn't really move, in that case, you know, the character would still move. It wouldn't really be, you know, as accurate or as pretty, but it's let's call it a POC, right? Okay, so let's no, I don't want to log it. Stop recommending that stupid thing. Okay, let's see. What do we do? What do we do? We need to mimic an input. So how do we mimic an input in Python? I don't have a clue, but let's find out. So first, like before, like we found OpenCV and stuff like that, we're gonna Google it. How to, I'm not gonna say mimic, that's it's not a word that I would use to describe his. So here's also a tip. If you're searching for something like a package, whether it's a NuGet package or npm package, or I would assume a Python package as well, what you want to do is try to search it in terms in which the developer would describe it, like its creator would describe it. So if you try to search it in different terms, you would make it just harder on yourself to find it. So let me show you how to mimic keystrokes in Python. Simulate, see? Because even Google knows it should, no, move it. And it says py input and py auto GUI. Okay. So it says keyword controller press A. Sounds simple enough. Ah, okay. But this one has really good press release kind of thing. But this one can do multiple things. Ensure that the application when you're targeting keystrokes. Okay, so I would need to switch to WoW immediately, right? So it knows it can move forward. Okay, okay, that can work. So it's not really smart in that sense. But also technically it wouldn't start until I set everything up, so kind of makes sense. I'm not sure which way to go. I think I like this one just for simplicity's sake. So let's try. Whoops. There's a queue there. Okay, that worked. That's perfect. And then what do we need to do? We need to import this. So import. Lovely. And then we have to set up a keyboard, which is a controller. And then check if speed exceeds threshold. All right. Sure. So I don't want to press space. I want to press it. I kind of want to I want for it to hold. So hold W until the speed is above a certain threshold. Okay. All right. So it will press W, right? Let's see. Because this could technically work. All right. Let's start up. Okay. Requirement already satisfied. Pi inputs, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait. I ran the wrong command. It stopped because there's no attributive. Ah. You sneaky little copilot. Sneaky little copilot. Try to cheat us there. So it released and then it pressed. But it releases it way too fast. Okay. So it does press it if we're waving like this. It keeps pressing it, but it's releasing it too fast. So let's see how to manage that. So what happens here? If the threshold is this, and we can probably increase the threshold to 0.6, and then we store current time and check if current time, we store the last press time. Technically, we don't have to store last press time, but let's for now keep it. What's important is this. As soon as the threshold is under 0.6, it releases it. Which technically isn't a problem if we're moving at the speed of light, but we're not. So we need a kind of a tampon zone or you know, a median time through which we won't debounce, right? We won't do that. So how do we do we use like last press time and then add like a 0.5 seconds? Yeah, we can try that. So how do you write that in Python? Is there an else if? Is there an else if, or is it together? Let's see. There's no else if. Okay. Then perhaps we can do it like this. So else, and then if keyboard is pressed, aha, you see, it knows. So if current time minus last press time is greater than 0.5, then release it. That's exactly what I wanted. Now let's see if that makes a little bit more sense. And then we move. And then we stop moving. And then we move. See? Works. And then we stop moving. That's perfect. That's lovely. Okay. Now we don't want to keep pressing it all the time, right? We just want to press it, hold it. So if the current time and not pressed, perfect, lovely, that works just perfect. So we do this, it releases it, we move. Why doesn't it really... What did I mess up? What did I mess up? Perhaps, so if current time minus last press time, so if current time is that, press it. Maybe just this. And then, so this happens and it gets updated. Yeah, I think it's this. I think your last press time didn't get updated. And we want this to be here instead. So, yeah. Okay. So we stored current time, so this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. This should work. Now we move. It just stopped. It didn't log anything. And then we stop. So ideally what I want to do, I want to achieve so that it presses it once and releases it once. Okay, so now let's think about this a little bit. We didn't get to here. If keyboard is not pressed, press W and then print. So this never happened. At least I didn't see it. So let's check again. We do have logs. So you see, it never happened. It never happened. So what I want to do is Maybe I didn't. Maybe it's a simpler solution. Maybe I just didn't move at the speed. You see it, but it stopped. Now the speed is constantly over 0.6, but it doesn't go there. And when I stop moving, there you go. You see? So it doesn't enter this. Oh, right there. Ouch. So that's the trick. It never goes into here. So not press doesn't work for whatever reason. Let's you know what? Let's print keyboard press W. Let's see what this says. Because now this should print as long as we're we're moving. Oh. So it's that. Okay. So it's not a Boolean, right? What does it return? All right. So this was my mistake. Is there any other pressed? Well, you know what? We don't have to do that. We can do it like this. I think we can do it much simpler. First of all, we just call it here W pressed false and W, no, we just need pressed, right? And then we say if W pressed, or well, not press, we go W press true, right? So instead of this one, we use W pressed. Did I overwrite something? No, I didn't. There you go. And then we do W pressed false. But technically this should be here, right? And now it will only press it once if I'm moving and if it's not pressed. And if I'm stop moving and it is pressed, it will release it. But if it is released, then this will be false. Yeah, this should be fine. Press release, press release. Okay. All right. I wonder why does it go so if I'm moving and it keeps checking if I'm moving, right? But if I stop moving, oh wait, I see. Oh my god. I removed an L. That was very confusing. And then I move. I can't move that fast. Okay, I need a bigger so once, well, not that, 1 second. Because I can't really move that fast. I'm not moving. And then I move. Nah. My debounce doesn't work. Let's see. So, well, our switch works. That's one thing. So current time is current time. And I do believe that current time should be here, not there. And then my current time. So as long as I'm moving, that's not a problem. The problem is when it catches me not moving, because this is like in-game update, so it's while true basically. So this happens every frame, maybe even more often than a frame. It catches all the frames, so it might even happen twice in a frame, right? Because we're just looping while true and we were reading it. And then what we're doing here is checking the threshold. And if the button is pressed, and it is pressed, and the current time, I think this might actually fix it, because now we're watching the same time. So the current time minus last press time, their difference is greater than a second. Then release it, and then set it to released. Move. Ah, come on, dude. You know what? What we can do is we can try and see if this actually works in the game. So let's try some fun things instead of just breaking our heads over this thing. So what we want to do is go to the game. There we go. And we can test it out with some other characters. We can test that with Paladin, I guess. And yep, let's see if this works out. I truly hope my audio was working fine. My audio is, but my game's about to break. There you go. I'm not sure why this happens. I'm suspecting details more and more, or later. But I did prepare a way for me to remove plater even. So let's try this. Uh-huh. It works. And I move. I stop. Come on, dude, I stop. Stop. It only detects everything. I think the threshold is the issue. There you go. Okay. POC successful. It sucks, but it's successful. So let's increase the threshold. My threshold should be brain. Here. So it should be 0.9. I think in one. Did they ever log it? No, I didn't. My millions. I just need speed. Let's try it like this. I hope this is allowed, by the way. And then I move. So I can actually put this like a super large value. So this can be like 10. And then I move. And then I stop. And then I run. And then I stop. Yay! All right. I'm actually satisfied. With the outcome. And I did spend on this a little bit more time than intended. But here's the starting project, and we'll see how it works out. You know, in the long run. I won't actually run any dungeons or anything right now. I'm a bit tired, so I'd go watch some anime or show or whatever. Or might actually go watch something with the kids. I did stay in my PvP build. Not sure why though. But yeah. There you go. We actually built what we set out to do. And it is without the treadmill part, and it's kind of crude, but it worked out just fine, and it was a fun little project to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed. It wasn't really much gaming, rather than watching me wave to my character so it can run. Yeah, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed. Cheers.